Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to the channel. I'm Wayne. Want to invite you to subscribe if you didn't already do it. And for anybody looking for a little one-on-one help with some Skype sessions, I'll always have an email in the description of each of these videos. If you ever need to reach out for any reason, feel free to do that. And you can also request topics that you might like to hear as part of the channel. Glad to try to get to any of that I can. Today, we're going to talk about a nice blues shape that we have in first position on the mandolin. I'm going to bet that no matter what kind of mandolin playing that you're into, you've heard people use this phrase before in the form of licks, a lot of times in the key of A. Those mandolin licks, they're really based on what is technically a blues scale. I've talked about it on the channel before, a closed position blues, that you could check that video out as well. If you listen to the notes, I'm playing that closed in A right now. So I've got an A note, then a minor third, C note at the third fret of the A string. Then these chromatic notes, I'm playing a D, E flat, and an E. Then the third fret again for a flat 7 note, and then an A note here. And if we want to take some of the minor chord out of that, we can always slide right into a major third note. So this is a really powerful and useful scale, and we don't want to miss this opportunity to play it the particular way that it lays on the fretboard of the mandolin with those chromatic notes. There, we have that, the D, E flat, the flat 5 note is what's so cool. All of the moves that we make as we slide back to the D note, or all of that can happen here with the pull-offs. There I am again, playing that slide from the minor third to the major third. So if we don't want it to be that full-on minor sound, we could just slide into that minor third. But let me break down exactly what the notes are, or the frets that I'm playing. It's the second fret, the A root note, then a minor third at the 5th fret, that's the C note. Then the chromatic notes are going to be open, 1st fret, 2nd fret. Notice that I'm playing those two notes with my index finger. That's a healthy way to memorize this, shifting on a half step. Then I'm going to have the flat 7 note here, the G note. Then we could move on and play the A open, or we could move to 2nd position up to that closed position of the blues. That's going to give us 2 octaves. If you're not real familiar with that closed position shape, check out that video and maybe pair these 2 videos together. I'm starting to have enough content on the channel that I can make those kinds of recommendations for logical videos to watch at the same time. But anyway, this is the shape that we're talking about, this fun and easy blues shape. I'm just going to go ahead and play a slide up to that next root note of A, intentionally keeping this shape on 2 pairs of strings, in this case the G and the D strings. So you could play this the same exercises, like play it in thirds. They don't have to be broken thirds. You could just play three notes starting from each note. The A note, then the C, the D, E flat, the E note. give yourself a way to kind of move around on this so that we don't reduce it to a lick. You may have heard mandolin solos ended like that under the bluegrass umbrella. Try not to just reduce this to a lick. And now we're going to look at the way we get 3 of those out of this one study of the fretboard, if you wanted to call it that. Think about the thumbnail that I put on this video. It says blues, blues, and more blues. And you can think that visual thing of those 3 words stacked on top of each other, because that's what we have in first position. If I move this down to the 2 middle pairs of strings, just think about it in as simplified of a way as we can. The D and the A strings, that's an E note that we're starting on. So this is going to be playing in E at this point, using the same shape. Exact same shape. So if I do play those thirds here, all of that immediately is going to follow me. We can transpose that just straight down to an E. And of course, one more time, blues, blues, and more blues stacked on top of each other. B would be the root note here at the 2nd fret. So now we're playing a B blues scale. You can see me move that minor third up to the major third. And then shifting up to, listen to that, this closed position blues scale here. These are exactly the same notes in first position, but the fruit of knowing that scale is going to be different because of the pull-offs and just the mechanics of how it works on the mandolin, the way that it lays there in first position in a fairly user-friendly kind of way. So this can be something that might even encourage your ambition, to have more ambition to learn scales, because it's really fun. And you can use that scale like if you're playing 9-pound hammer in the key of A, you want to leave the melody like near the end of your solo and kind of spice it up a little bit. Experiment with trying to find a particular amount of musical space that you can play that scale over, and kind of sneak in a little bit of an improvisation near the end of your solo. Start out just working with intervals. Whatever key would maybe work most for you. If you wanted to just I'm just going to move from an E minor down to a D to play a nice riff. Record yourself doing that on your phone and then play the scale over it. That kind of thing. It's really important to riff on these different shapes and get a feel for it so that it comes out musically and not, again, reduced to just a lick that you've learned in first position with these blues scales, but an actual improvisational feel to it and that greasy thing that blues is supposed to be. I hope this helps. And again, if you haven't subscribed, I hope that you will. If you want to reach out to me through that email, you can do that too.